News Watch 12 Today starts now.
Good morning and thank you for starting your day with us. I'm Kevin Kraft. Cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are all down. We're making progress in the fight against COVID-19, but the CDC hasn't budged on its mask guidance yet. Britt Conway has the latest on where they stand as pandemic fatigue fuels frustration. 21 people are dead, including 19 children and 2 adults following an elementary school shooting in Texas. The trial for a Tomahawk man charged with the 2016 death of his 23-day-old son began this week. Henry Hughes is facing charges of first-degree reckless homicide and child abuse. The trial began with opening arguments on Monday and is set to continue today. Police say that Hughes and his wife brought their baby into the hospital in September of 2016, saying that the baby has been coughing and suddenly stopped breathing. After the child passed away, doctors concluded that the infant's injuries were caused by shaking or crushing and could not have been accidental. Hughes was 20 years old at the time of the infant's death. Hughes faces 25 years in prison if convicted. The trial is scheduled to last through June 3rd. The Milwaukee County Zoo has a new resident, a baby giraffe. The zoo is now home to 6 reticulated African giraffes. Mom giraffe Marley and dad giraffe Bahidica welcomed their new baby on Friday, May 27th. The first exam of the giraffe by zookeepers recorded a weight of 164 pounds and a height of around 6 feet. The baby giraffe is a girl and is yet to be named. Zookeepers say she is, quote, spunky and strong, and the wild giraffes are found throughout the savannas of Africa. Although not threatened by extinction, the wild giraffe population is less than 80,000 and decreasing.
Oh,
all right, so this goes, I'm gonna stand up here, and this is going to just go up over my legs. Watch out for the mic and cords and everything else that's on me.
And the neck clicks behind.
This is my first time doing this, by the way.
Yeah, we didn't practice at all. Can you tell?
All right, now it's actually feeling a lot more tighter.
Oh, yeah.
Devin, speaking of the weekend, do you know what's going on Sunday?
I just know it's Mother's Day.
Well, that's a good thing to guess. And have you figured out your surprise yet?
I'm going to guess it's something related to Mother's Day.
You're on the right ball with that. So say hi to your mom right now because she's actually listening to this broadcast. He's such a fine gentleman here. He's a great person to sit alongside me for these broadcasts. Well, happy Friday, everyone. And now it is time for Homeward Bound. This week, Brooklyn Simmons from the Oneida County Humane Society is joining us with Ranger, who has already introduced himself to me.
I gotta say, this is like a dream job. When I graduated college, I saw a job posting, but they wanted freshmen, like just people just out of high school going into college. So unfortunately, I didn't get to do it there, but it would be a great job to have.
Ketchup Caitlin.
Betty Buns, I like the names.
It's one of those stories we do every year, of course, that brings publicity to Oscar Mayer. But it's one of those, like, you know, there's many Wienermobiles out there, but it just makes me laugh.
I want to drive the Wienermobile, though.
I've driven the Wienermobile. In Oklahoma City, I've driven the Wienermobile.
Was it cool? Was it like a dream come true?
It feels like a Winnebago motorhome. Like it's big and it just like it's you know, it's a thing. Class, does that buy you no disrupting children, right?
What's considered disruptive? Because I know every parent will also have their own opinions on that. And while I would like to have a quiet plane, I realize that's probably not going to happen because there's a lot of other people on the plane. Adults could be just as disruptive as children, I have found out. But I am on the board. As long as the children's not being disruptive, they can sit wherever, in my opinion.
I was doing a little research on it earlier, and that has always been what this university was called, the Ohio State University. Or if you're like Sunday Night Football and listen to all the players say what school they're from, the Ohio State University.
The Ohio.
Basically, you're trying to. Hey, no kicking. That's not boxing. Kickboxing. just going MMA style here.
Okay, so
be careful you don't want to open up too far.
Okay.
If you open up too far, you expose.
What do you mean open up too far?
Well, when we're talking about open up, we're talking about your hips. So when you explode too far through, then you're really exposing you for that counter punch from you, Kevin.
Even though I'm right-handed?
Yep.
Because your big knockout.
Your big knockout's going to be with your right hand. So you're going to come up with your right hand. That's going to be your uppercut.
So like.
Yeah, just exactly. Coming in. There you go. See, now you feel how you're.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Now keep that left hand. Once you jab, get it right back up by your face there. There you go. There you go. Now you guys are getting. I told you, he's got the arm strength, so he's.
Newswatch 12's Kevin Kraft was at a local Veterans Day service and has more. Kevin?
Well, guys, this one is a tradition in Rhinelander that was put on hold during the pandemic. This year, it was back to normal in James Williams Middle School, where students and staff alike gained a new perspective from a veteran.
Last couple of years, we weren't able to do it. Last year, we were able to do it in the dome, but it's nice to be able to do it back in the school, in the gym.
The school district of Rhinelander was able to have their annual Veterans Day ceremony back inside James Williams Middle School today. Superintendent Eric Burke was thrilled with how the community and the students responded to today's ceremony.
Overall, we had a nice community turnout. All the students in the school were here, and the band and choir played. The principal here has done a great job of organizing, and the students were fantastic. You could have heard a pin drop when our speaker was speaking. U.S. Navy veteran and Rhinelander High School alum Brian Bennett was the speaker at the event. Bennett says that he is always amazed with the students' efforts to put on an event.
It was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. Tammy Javankowski does a great job putting this on. The kids, whether they be from the junior high or the high school or Nativity who participate in these programs, they always knock it out of the park.
Bennett hopes that students take away some perspective and an ability to understand that people have different views on life.
It's not a recruitment speech. It's not something where I want people to come out of it and say, I'm going to run down and sign up today. I just want people to understand and recognize that the person they're dealing with has a somewhat different perspective on life, probably because of their service.
Superintendent Burke adds that they're already preparing for next year's ceremony, which will be the 53rd year of doing it.
Bennett says that the best way to thank a veteran is not to be reflexive. He encourages people to ask thoughtful and deeper questions to veterans about their service.
It's one of our highest used parks in the town of Minocqua.
Torpy Park in Minocqua is under a construction process. Currently, they are in the process of making Torpy Park more accessible with ramps.
Our overall goal is to connect the upper and lower levels of Torpy with an ADA ramp. And then we also have some other tie-ins that we're doing. We're going to tie into the beach area with an ADA accessible platform to the sand, and then an ADA ramp to the piers.
The City of Minocqua's Mark Pertilli says that progress has gone well in the project so far. He adds that by this weekend, he believes that more than 90% of the project will be completed, well ahead of their January deadline.
Our project and all the other CDBG projects through Oneida County need to be done by January 31st, 2023. Preferably, our project will be done here before mid-December is our goal. There might be a couple little outstanding items. The town of Minocqua is going to receive roughly $380,000 CDBG money for this project. And then in addition to that, we've committed some of our own dollars for the engineering, and then we received some ARPA funding that'll help supplement some of the other aspects of this project.
CDBG funds, or Community Development Block Grants, come from federal dollars that get distributed throughout the state. Pertilli says that the project will cost about $700,000. Pertilli adds that the final phase next year will be a smaller project compared to the current one. He says that project will include connecting 2 parking lots and the construction of 2 pavilions. The project is expected to be completed by mid-June.
It'll reflect, and it'll be a very nice park when finally completed next year.
Reporting in Minocqua, Kevin Kraft, Newswatch 12.
Brewers baseball against the Cubs on 4th of July yesterday, and it was a thriller. Let's go to those highlights. We picked things up in the top of the 3rd inning. That's where Nelson Velasquez would break the ice with a solo home run to left field. Now all the way to the top of the 7th now. Same score, 2 outs, and a ball is hit deep in the hole. Willie Adames slides to a stop, and looking to get into the All-Star game, he throws a strike over to Victor Caratini at first to end the inning. And that play would prove to be big, as in the bottom of the inning, Pedro Severino would drive home Keston Hira with this RBI double to left, tying the game at 1. And this game would go to extras. Brad Boxberger would get out of a major jam without allowing a run in the 10th. And now to the bottom of the 10th, with 2 on and 2 out, the stage is set for Victor Caratini.
2 balls and a strike. Caratini, center field, hit well. Ortega launches in, fly out of here!
fans definitely left American Family Field happy with a 5-2 win. Eric Lauer started the game for the Brewers, and he went 6 innings, giving up 1 run on 2 hits. Lauer would walk 2 and strike out 9 in his outing. Game 2 of the 3-game series will be tonight. First pitch is scheduled for 7:10, and Jason Alexander will get the start against Kyle Hendricks. Former Stevens Point area high school alum Sam Hauser is sticking with his NBA team. Hauser has agreed to a 3-year contract with the Celtics worth approximately $6 million. The first 2 years of the deal are fully guaranteed. Hauser appeared in 26 games with the Celtics last year. After Spash, he played collegiately at Marquette and Virginia. Bottom of the 9th inning now, Padres closer Taylor Rogers loaded the bases after hitting 2 batters. The Brewers were down by 3 with Jace Peterson at the plate. Peterson would hit a deep fly ball off the funny angled wall in right center, clearing the bases and, more importantly, tying the game at 4. Rogers was pulled after that pitch, and the very next batter was Andrew McCutchen, who was 0 for his last 32, ripped a walk-off single back up the middle, and the Brewers win 5-4. In a little more lighter baseball news, the Houston Astros no-hit the New York Yankees on Saturday. Christian Javier went 7 innings while walking 1. Hector Neris pitched the 8th and walked 2, and Ryan Presley closed it out in the 9th to complete the combined no-hitter. This was the first time that the Yankees have been no-hit since 2003, and wouldn't you know it, the Astros did it to them then. And this is the first no-hitter for the Astros since Justin Verlander did it against the Jays in 2019. The Yankees got a hit with a lead-off single in the 8th on Friday, and the next hit in the 7th with 1 out, 16 1/3 innings later. Quite the streak. The Colorado Avalanche have won the 2022 Stanley Cup for the first time since 2001. The Avs completed the run, defeating the 2-time reigning champion Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games, clinching Game 6 by a nail-biting score of 2-1. The victory ends Tampa's quest for a three-peat, something that hasn't happened in the NHL since the New York Islanders accomplished the feat in the 80s. With the playoffs included, the Avs tied a league record for games won in a season with 72, capping it off in the most rewarding way possible. Cale Makar received the MVP honors, hoisting the Conn Smythe Trophy as Colorado clinches their 3rd Stanley Cup title and 1st since 2001. Yesterday was the first round of the NFL Draft. Edge rusher Trayvon Walker from Georgia went number 1 overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan went number 2 to the Lions. Only 1 quarterback was selected during the first round, and that was Kenny Pickett, and he went to the Steelers. Now the Packers had 2 picks in the first round, the 22nd overall from the Raiders and the 28th overall. For the 22nd pick, the Packers selected linebacker from Georgia, Quay Walker. Walker in 2021 started all 15 games for the Bulldogs as he recorded 67 tackles, 5.5 tackles for a loss, and 1.5 sacks, and 3 pass breakups. Walker stands 6'4" and goes 241 pounds, and according to NFL.com's Chad Reuter, Walker was the number 2 prospect in the linebacker position. And a few picks later, the Packers were sticking to building a strong defense as well as sticking to Georgia players. For the 28th overall pick, the Packers select defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt. During the 2021 season, Wyatt posted 39 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Wyatt stands 6'3" and weighs more than 300 pounds. Wyatt started 2 seasons for the Bulldogs in 2020 and in 2021.